creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
Oh, walk on the water. For me. Just for me, baby. Okay. Oh, there's always gonna be pressure. Okay. Pressure.
It's Tuesday, November 6, 2018, and you better be listening to this while you're in line to vote. It's the Relevant Podcast. I'm Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios, is filling in for my brother Chandler Strang on the ones and twos, Mark Jackson.
Hello, world.
We still can't find Chandler. On the line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
All the way from Nashville, Tennessee, Tyler Huckabee.
God bless America, and hello, everybody.
And down the street there in Nashville, author, speaker, podcaster, cowgirl extraordinaire, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents. I just love that, Cameron.
Has anyone found Chandler? Have we heard from him?
No, I'm concerned.
He's banging on the closet, but we haven't talked at all.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I, slid some old dog food under the door for his 2 days worth of meals, I haven't heard a peep. So, he should be fine. I will say this. I just returned back from writing in Newt Gingrich in every available slot for public office solely on his promise of colonizing the moon. So, civic duty done. Now it's time to sit back and cross the fingers.
I mean, now that we've gone to space camp, we are one issue voters.
What's the one candidate that has ensured moon colonization? And there's only one, and his name is Newt Gingrich. And I'm uncomfortable with many of his other platforms, but I'm what they call a single issue voter, and I vote with my heart and not my brain.
Is this a post space camp belief, Jesse?
I got into this. I got into
question.
Space politics pretty heavy, and the interesting thing about that is there's literally only one candidate who's ever said anything about space politics, so I chose him, and it's a bold platform. Moon colonization.
Our current president, who has the Space Force.
That is
it's
true,
coming.
but because of the lack of details on Space Force,
or the lack of really the ability to implement it, but
I guess he hasn't really specified if he means outer space. Just a general
Near
space around, all the space between
space.
The Dave Matthews Band song. There's a lot of things
I do
unknown
not
about
like Dave
the
Matthews Band.
really.
Yeah, if we never talked about that before.
I mean,
Yeah, I
this
just
is
don't feel
the official shifting of one era to the next. For 5 years, we were like subjected to Dave Matthews' just unfettered fandom by the one and only Eddie Kaufholz. I mean,
Right.
he was in a Dave Matthews cover band. I mean, he was deep, and you are not.
He said he was under the table and dreaming. Annie, I ask you this: What is your guilty pleasure band? If it's not the Dave, if not
NSYNC.
DMB.
Oh, and
NSYNC.
I feel like they're not even that guilty.
not even
I feel like
everybody likes
people
NSYNC.
they had Justin Timberlake in it. It's not even that guilty. You got to go guiltier.
Guiltier.
it has to be indefensible.
Yeah, they literally
gosh.
Justin Timberlake is still making relevant music.
Right, but then you have to balance that out with like the Joey Fatone, right? Like, doesn't it? Don't
Joey
those
Fatone
balance
is
each other?
unironic. If I'm flipping through, if Joey Fatone's on, which has happened numerous times, like he's guest star on
TV.
Impractical Jokers. Look at that.
yeah.
Oh,
He's
he's on a
everywhere.
singing show. Oh, it's Fatone. He's a good natured guy. He's just kind of riding that wave.
Yeah.
He's sitting back. He would be a face. I made a joke last podcast, and I try not to do too many callbacks. But if there was a Mount Rushmore of guys who just kind of taking some time off, planning their next move, just kind of hanging out, Joey Fatone would be front and center.
He's one of the main guys on Mount Rushmore. Yeah, you're right.
You could
So-
really
so
do
one would give me-
all the non-Justin Timberlake and Sync members would be qualified. Probably Joey Fatone probably has the most qualifications,
Yeah,
or at
but
least
Lance has been
depending.
training for a career in space.
That's true. Yeah, Lance wants to be.
Yeah,
on your
where's
Space Force.
JC Chazé? That's the real question.
On
Where did
Mount
he go?
Rushmore, that's where he's at.
Yeah, he used to host a dance TV show, and now he's just disappeared.
All right, Annie. One more guilty
Okay,
pleasure.
sorry. One more guilty pleasure.
Yeah, maybe like in the rock genre.
I don't listen to
that
that
has aged
genre.
poorly. That a lot of bands in that era has aged poorly.
You tell me yours, and I'll see if it sparks something I'm listening to. I don't think of. I mean, Bonnie Raitt. Does that count sometimes?
I don't even know how guilty that is, though. Like, I feel like
I know.
Yeah, I was watching Monday Night Football this past week, and during halftime, they did a performance with the band Bush for no explanation. There was no.
That's a good one.
The only explanation.
Like, even what's the main guy's name?
Gavin Rosdale.
Gavin, and he's married.
He
No,
used
he's
to be
not anymore.
Gwen
He was
Stefani.
married to.
The only
Gwen Stefani,
explanation I could think
wow.
of is that the game was in Buffalo. It was the Buffalo Bills. And they were like, well, who's the most popular band in Buffalo, New York? And they looked it up and they're like, you guys aren't going to believe this. It's Bush, who hasn't had a single since 1996. And they're like, all right, well,
thought you
sign
were
them up
gonna
to
say they
get
were
them play
from there.
halftime, even though it makes no
Right.
sense and they're releasing new music. So
I love the shots of the crowd where there were literally 15 people just stacked on top of each other to try and make it look like there was a lot of people.
yeah, it was pretty sad. It was pretty sad. But
Who's your guilty pleasure band, Jesse?
I mean, I liked a lot of like pop punk bands back when, I remember I bought like a Blink-182 album in like 8th grade, and that hasn't aged particularly well.
I thought I saw Travis Barker on an airplane this weekend, and I was beside myself happy. But the guy really did look like him, and he was traveling with drum gear. But Travis Barker has tattoos all over himself, and this guy was tattooless, as far as the eye could see.
Cameron, I mean, you have some old school hip hop, groups.
My guilty would be like old school early 90s R&B, like slow jams.
Yeah, what's one that hasn't aged particularly well?
I mean, I'm biased. I think they've all aged perfectly.
That is true. It's a pretty
It's like
smooth
a
era.
fine wine. It's only gotten better. Give me some Jodeci. I mean, that's still gonna be
if Jodeci comes
yes.
on, everybody's like, "Oh, snaps! Don't put Jodeci on." Like, no one is saying it ironically either. Or like Brian
right.
McKnight. Oh, smooth. Oh man, give me more.
yeah.
Turn it
Some
up.
Sure.
Peebo Bryson. I mean, guys. Some Blackstreet. There's so many. I don't know. I think they've all aged very well.
I think though, for a lot of people who grew up the way we did, if you're still listening to any like 90s contemporary Christian music, that's kind of your like, I don't know if I should even talk about. You put Spotify on private mode first. Like, I don't think anyone needs to know that Newsboys. I'm in kind of a Newsboys mood
not all of them
today.
are like, not all of the Newsboys catalog or like the old Tooth and Nail catalog has aged like Jodeci, which is like a fine, crisp pickle. Just perfectly aged.
Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talked to Sarah Reeves. She has an incredible new album out. It's called Easy Never Needed You. Neither did Jesse.
Yeah, it's super cool album. I was kind of surprised this album.
Yeah, I remember, Jesse, you were the one who actually reached out to me about this because it is praise and worship music, but it's a lot of times and we've
It's
talked
not
about this
just
before,
worship,
some
it's-
praise and worship
it's
music is a
praise
little
and
samey, and she really takes it in some surprising new directions. I loved the album.
And then at the end of the show, we have a very special Ask Jesse segment. I don't know what happened, but this week we put out the call for if you need advice. Ask Jesse. I think a couple of things happened. I think to this one tweet we got like 53 replies, right? And then, but I think people are figuring out the formula for that segment.
Yeah.
They got to pose you scenarios. That's it. They don't need actual. Should I do this or this? They say, what should I do to accomplish X? And then Jesse, I think they're figuring it out. I think it's fun. This is going to be fun.
Well, I have a request this week during Ask Jesse for two reasons. One is every time this segment comes up, we can all see each other as we're recording. One member of this team has an incredulous stare on their face the whole time and is embarrassed to be present.
Yeah.
The other thing is just how things have shaken out with a lot of stuff we've got going. I'm recording 5 podcasts in 3 days this week, so
Oh my gosh.
the juices are running a little low. So I might kick one over to Annie and I want to hear her answer, and I will either approve or give my own based on yours. Not for everyone. I just want to try to mix it up a little. Just try to mix it up a little.
Wow.
All right. So
Okay.
it's an Ask Annie Jesse. I like it.
Yeah, and you get to see how these two minds work differently, Annie. And I will see.
gosh,
I will see if you look
Jesse.
as incredulous after this week.
Jesse, I don't look incredulous. My face usually says, I'm concerned that people might actually do what he says. That's what my face says.
That's the point of this segment, Annie.
Okay, that's true. Well, I'm ready. I'm
And
ready.
that is, and if that's the point of this segment, you literally just describe what it means to look incredulous. So.
Well, moving the show along, it's the Tuesday show. It's an election day special edition of Slices.
Slices.
All right, what do you have, Jesse?
All right. So Twitter president
Heard
Jack
of it.
Dorsey. Oh yeah. So it's this thing that the kids were doing before they moved on to Snapchat and who's a what. I downloaded who's a what, and my phone's not working, and I'm getting some pretty weird calls in Russian late at night. So, I wasn't even in the App Store. I just downloaded something off Google. So Jack Dorsey, one of the big criticisms that Twitter has faced, not so much from the outset, but definitely in the last couple of years, is that the platform has been, kind of a place where abuse isn't regulated in a way that a lot of critics have said is effective, and that there aren't a lot of Twitter conversations that end productively. And so the Twitter team has been thinking about ways that they can change the platform to increase the quality of conversations, and so that back and forths don't just seem like a bunch of people arguing about stuff. Not many minds are changed by interacting in a Twitter thread with people. More of those go south than end in
Right.
I feel like it's safe to say, at least ones that I've kind of involved
Yeah, no
in,
joke.
than you like literally changing someone's mind. And so Jack Dorsey has a very simple suggestion for how they can possibly make a change without overhauling the whole platform, because it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's a platform where you write short written messages. It's a small change to the interface and functionality. If either of you heard about this, don't chime in here, but can someone guess what that is?
No,
I have no idea. I haven't heard.
Yeah. So a
Tyler.
small little change so that people fight more.
I am aware.
So they fight less. So hopefully it increases the quality of conversation. I will say it's very counterintuitive.
They ban government representatives.
They banned government representatives with the last name that start with T and end with the letter P, and also contains. No.
I do know about the change, and I'm still have a hard time believing it's actually going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, say it. I don't know.
The change is they are going to remove the like button. The heart where you can like tweets and, they're forever in your kind of memory.
Really?
And not only that, not only can you go to see what tweet someone liked, that's not the main reason. Dorsey says, his reasoning is that it looks at what they're unintentionally incentivizing. Right? So people will tweet something because they basically have a scorecard right under the tweet of how many people clicked like. He said, we have a big red button with a heart on it, and we're incentivizing people to want it to go up. And he said, is that the right thing? Versus contributing to a public conversation or a healthy conversation, how do we incentivize healthy conversation? So what they're planning on hoping that the change will do. So if you're in like a debate with someone, you having more likes on your tweet than somebody else, kind of feels like a sense of validation. And a lot of people, even someone, and I know obviously he's said some concerning things as of late, but one thing that I think he has that has some value to is when Kanye West talked about this, like the dopamine rush you get from likes, and that, people will kind of live their life versus, based on how many likes an idea or a statement they can get. And what Jack Dorsey's saying is like, this does contribute to a lot of stuff, that if people didn't have what is essentially this ranking system of my thoughts are better than yours, because more people like what I'm saying than they like my friends, this could hopefully contribute to healthier conversations. Like I said, it's not intuitive because you think a heart would do the opposite. You think a heart would.
And that's a lot of times I like tweets that I want to go back and read the link that's what I use it for.
Yeah, but that's what they realize. So they are going to institute like an invisible bookmarking system. So you can bookmark tweets that you can still go back and read, but it won't be listed like publicly facing. Like I can go look at the stuff that you liked. And also the person who tweeted it won't have this outwardly facing thing of how many people bookmarked it.
I mean, people bookmarked it.
You know what though? This is all great and noble until people their addiction lessens and they start using the platform less and numbers go down and the profit goes down and shareholders say nope and they're going to put it right back.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Or humans will be humans and figure out another way to determine who's the top of the mountain, and they will somehow, it'll be a retweet thing. There'll be some other way that we all do exactly what we do with the like button right now because we're terrible.
And Cameron, that's a totally valid point. But I also think to some degree, they have to make some change because I feel like the platform's already suffering because it's so toxic for a lot of people.
Yeah,
I feel like, more people are going to something like Instagram, not just because of the functionality is based on images, not words, but because Instagram's not as toxic of a place. It's pretty fun and goofy,
But it's still about likes.
Tell me what y'all think about the whole, I've seen a couple of times lately, there have been people saying things like, if you're not standing up for what you believe on Twitter, then just get off of Twitter. That's not what you shouldn't even be here kind of thing. What is y'all's take on that? Is that part of the deal with Twitter? Is it a place where we should all be really vocal about all of our stances because or is it okay that people aren't?
Well, I think there's a difference between taking a stand and grandstanding. You know what I mean?
So do you think it's required that you take a stand? Do you think that's part of being on Twitter is making sure you're taking a stand on things?
Well, here to me, this is where the line is between those two concepts. Is like, if I'm taking a stand, I'm doing it to institute some manner of change, right? Like I want to be an agent of change. I want people, hopefully to have a change of heart and mind that is, positive. Grandstanding is just doing something to make myself feel good or look good, right? And so, like, if I tweet something about a position that I hold, do I really think, and maybe for some people it's true, I don't know, but I think it's the question you have to ask yourself is, do you really think this is going to change anybody's mind about something, or do you feel like the ultimate cause of me posting this will lead to change? In some cases it will, but in some cases, there probably are more effective ways of like, I could talk to someone who I actually have a relationship with and engage with them about an issue. But I don't think you can say for either of those that there's something that you have to do or should do 100% of the time, just because I don't know how effective that is.
What do you think, Annie?
I have a hard time when anybody says that everyone needs to be doing this or that with their internet. So that I always kind of go like, you don't get to tell me how I use my Twitter or my Instagram, So I don't think I struggle with it because I do think there are times where the reason people are following you is they listen to you and they care about what you have decided to say. And so there are points in time where you absolutely need to say the thing you need to say, hard or not, or easy or whatever it is. So I just don't think I have a hard time with the language that Twitter is a platform where if you are not taking hard political stands, you are wasting my space on Twitter, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What do you think, Huck? Because you do a really good job of saying what you really believe and being an agent of change.
You haven't seen his burner accounts because they are they're wild.
I think people have a responsibility wherever their platform is. Like if you have a platform, then there's that injustice that you see and things that need to be, that there's a opportunity for you to speak truth, and that's a responsibility that I do think you have. That's not going to look the same for everybody. That's where I agree with you, Annie, is that I don't think setting up universal rules about what that's going to look like is good. Most people on Twitter are just yelling into the void.
Right.
And so that's fine. But I do think all of us have the opportunity to take stands in our lives in different places in different ways. And I would hope that we're all, creatively looking for ways to do that. And that can look like something that you say or write, and hopefully does look like something that you do. Might just look like going to the voting booth, like we're all doing today. So right. I think that I think that I'm wary of universal, like tweet this or else you're part of the problem. But I think that the sentiment that we all have the opportunity to do a good thing in a difficult time is definitely true.
Yeah, I think so too. It bothers me. It is harder for me when people say, this is how you should be using this platform. And if you're not, you're wasting it. And I want to be like, well, if everyone said I had to talk about bubble guppies just to be able to be on Twitter, that doesn't mean I have to talk about bubble guppies. But injustices, yes, I understand injustice and bubble guppies are different. But I just think, I think Twitter is, is not the first place I go when I want to see justice and see things changed. It's not the first place I go to enact that.
It's a bad medium for nuanced conversations.
Look, some people are good at it. You know, there are certain people who know how to use the platform in a way that's
Beth
effective.
Moore is changing lives with how she's changing her Twitter. I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
What she has done.
Yeah, there have definitely been tweets that have changed my mind on things. Like I've definitely had tweets and people's personal profiles on Twitter that have been really valuable for me.
Hold on. Really? I mean, I get that like there have been tweets that like, man, that was good. I'm glad somebody said that. But like, isn't it more like you saw somebody say something you agree with, not that somebody said something that changed your mind?
No, I mean, I'm with Tyler because there are some accounts I follow that are very different than me. And I read everything they tell me to read. And I listen to them because I recognize they are on a very different thought process than me. And sometimes it changes my mind.
I think I've been challenged on some, nothing super major probably, but there are definitely points in my life where I would say, that person changed my mind on this issue.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah, but I do think, Cameron, but your point, I mean, one of the biggest problems social media in general is confirmation bias. You know what I mean? We're automatically attracted to things that affirm our own either conscious or unconscious biases. You know what I mean? Like, and that's, but to a degree, I think, you know, this whole, the system being able to like stuff and not like other things, maybe it can contribute to positive change. I don't know. I just think it's interesting that when they're trying to tackle as a problem as big as social media toxicity and the unhealthy relationship that is developed with people, who use the platform, that the solution that they've gone to is simple and kind of major at the same time.
Yeah.
Like taking away one button, can it actually change a platform? I don't know. And I don't think they know, but I think it's interesting that was their impulse, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do too.
Interesting. All right. What do you have, Annie?
Well, listen, I just have a very interesting slice for you guys today. We're all sports fans here, and I am a big football fan, and I saw this and thought it was interesting. And two of you as being fathers, I'm interested in your take on this. Chris Herndon, who you guys know, a New York Jets tight end, he has scars right by his pinkies. Have y'all heard this story yet? Do y'all know this?
No.
And
I'm a New York Jets fan too, so I would think
I got you, Jesse. I'm here for you.
So is the regulator off? Like she's not even running anything by you anymore. Like you don't know anything about her slices.
I saw this. I did. Well, to be honest, I didn't know this before she sent it to me. I'll say that. Yeah.
Okay. So we're back into the dictatorship.
I did get approval.
Yeah.
With a passive aggressive, is there anything else you can find? And so I looped
What she sent back, I was like, let's go with this one.
Yeah, I looped back with the White House haunting because that's going to be my ace
but
card.
But the more I thought about this one,
up.
the more I'm like, I don't know where I stand.
That's what I knew.
Yeah.
That's what I knew. So
on
either
dilemma.
hand, right by his pinky, he has had a scar his whole life. And just recently, he asked his parents.
Both
he
pinkies, though, right?
Both hands. On both hands, right by his pinkies, he has scars. And they told him he was born with 12 fingers. And when he was born, they just had them cut off the extra pinky. And that's why he has scars.
Think about what they've done. They had a superhero child who is now catches football for a living.
For his living, right.
Great.
He could have had an extra digit on each hand. Would he have been the best football player or disqualified? That is the
minimum,
question.
According to my math, at minimum, he's 10% better of a catcher, of a football player.
And I mean, for his whole life, he didn't know that he had been born with 12 fingers.
How would you withhold that from your child?
That's what I thought, thinking about y'all's children represented here on the pod. I mean, I can't imagine Cohen having 12 fingers and you cutting off 2 of them and never telling him.
I gotta be honest with you. The very first thing that I did, as like he's brand new, he's less than a minute old, I literally counted 10.
No,
10.
you counted fingers and toes.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Cameron, I did the same thing.
And I went, he's healthy. And I like exhaled, like
really?
Yeah. You just don't know it till it comes out.
You know where that complex I think comes from, Cameron, is because I was talking to people who are like a generation older than me before my kids were born. They're like, well, check to make sure they got 10 fingers and 10 toes. And they were kind of half joking. And I thought, that's something that people probably do. It was literally the first thing I thought of too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So
it comes from somewhere. The fear comes from somewhere, I guess. But yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't tell that would just be like it wouldn't devastate me to learn.
Right.
But I'd feel weird having never heard it before.
In fact, in middle school, that have made you like the cool kid in
Yeah.
I don't
at some
know.
lunch
Middle school
tables.
kids are ruthless.
At some lunch tables, Cameron, I need you to hear me. I know not all the lunch tables are going to love the guy that
And
had 12
by
fingers.
lunch table, she means the home school, and that's the kitchen table. And your mom's going to think it's awesome you have an extra finger.
Very special. Very special.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. Think about like piano, any instrument. You know, you could be the greatest guitar player in the world because you can make that one chord that nobody
Yeah.
else can.
That's
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
I feel like
That's
they
what I
made
think.
that decision really early.
So
Yeah.
you're saying with Halloween being last week that the White House was haunted?
Yes, Cameron.
Let's hear it.
Thank
Let's
you
hear it,
very
Annie.
much. I appreciate you asking about that. The Bush sisters who used to live there said that twice. And look, I need y'all to look at my face that I am not even looking at notes. I know this by heart. That's how much I like this story. The Bush sisters twice.
She was going to record a special episode of her own podcast just to get this off her chest.
Man,
That
if I
sounds
could get the Bush
spooky
sisters
with
on-
Annie F. Downs.
You
That
better
sounds
believe I'm
spooky.
going to ask them. So the Bush sisters twice in their life heard in a fireplace in their bedroom, heard music coming out of the fireplace in the middle of the night. And one time it was jazz music, and one time it was 1920s, like dun, 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 that stuff.
So they were in the room together and they confirmed this. They're like, hey, do you hear
They
that?
both
Or
heard
is
this.
Yes, they both heard it, and it woke them up. And
It
they
was
both
just-
heard it both times, and they say that the White House could be haunted by very friendly
Or-
musical ghosts.
Or it could have just been, the staff, doing the
1,000%.
doing the dishes down in the
1,000%, Cameron.
kitchen and playing some
Yes.
music. I mean,
In the middle of the night, there's someone playing music in a way that connects fireplace to fireplace. Of course.
It's not like that place it's not like this is like an old mansion. This is a place with like a staff of a few hundred people. You
Yeah.
know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
That's why anything going on there, my last assumption would be ghost.
yeah, it's not a Scooby Doo.
I mean, I'm going to be worried about terrorists before I'm going to be worried about ghosts if I'm living in the White House.
You're not going to believe this. I placed an order and I think a ghost actually fulfilled the order and made me a meal. Like, it's fantastic, this White House. It's like a staff of awesome ghosts. My dad, George W., has a team of legislators who I think are all dead ghosts. And so don't believe. I mean, he's got secretaries
Yeah,
of
that are-
defense,
right.
of agriculture. They're
All ghosts.
Yeah, all
Just a
ghosts.
whole ghost
making
world.
controversial decisions for our country.
Yeah.
But
to be fair, don't y'all know that waking up, have I told y'all this story? When I stayed with some friends a couple of weeks ago, I fell asleep so fast and so deep that it like just minutes after I laid down, and I woke up because the dad was walking down the hallway, and I woke up and did not know where I was, and I thought someone was in my house. Have I told y'all this story?
No.
No, you're watching the
I thought
movie
someone was in my
Ghost
house and-
Dad.
Do I?
Ghost Dad. You're
I
watching
thought
the
it was
movie
my
Ghost
ghost dad. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it is that feeling of when you wake up in the middle of the night and your heart is just beating out of your chest, right? And I thought, man, the poor Bush daughters, that feeling is terrible. But then you wake up and it's like dun, 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 just coming through your fireplace.
What
I
was the
hate
age
that
range? I
feeling.
don't really remember very. What was the age range of the Bush girls?
I feel like they were teenagers.
Also, we remember that one of them was a little bit of a partier.
That's true.
So what your suggestion, here's
Yeah.
what Cameron, if I'm getting this straight,
Yeah, you
that
are.
because of, their tendency to
Of libation.
Had good
yeah,
times.
and that it's difficult. The White House is actually a difficult place to
It's
sneak out
stressful.
of.
Sneak out of.
And so what your suggestion, Cameron, let me do this straight.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
she built a speakeasy accessible through the bedroom fireplace of her room in the White House.
And it was
And then
literally
her
set in the
mom-
1920s.
then-
It was all
and then
ghosts.
her mom and dad were like, "What was that music that we heard last night?" And they're like, "Oh, ghosts! It must have been
Ghosts."
ghosts, mom and dad.
George
Ghosts."
W. is like, what's funny?
Oh, wow.
Is I heard this room was built on the cemetery of an old jazz band. Like the accent kind of got away from me there, but
No, that was actually surprisingly good, Jesse.
I've
No,
never
it
never
was not.
practiced
Don't
it
encourage
before.
him. Yeah.
Clearly.
Probably should have. I thought we were talking about 12 fingers. 12. Weird thing about that dead jazz band.
Yeah.
All the members had 12 fingers. That's why they're so good at jazz.
Well, that's why they're
their
so
jazz
proficient.
lives for eternity.
They're so proficient. Special jazz band.
What a
Their
great
moms told them.
slice.
Tyler, what do you got?
All right, so I have a story of there's a lot of twists and turns that go on here, and I know that I know Jesse's aware of this because he's been following this one. It's been on his beat lately, but I'm here to get the whole thing out top to bottom here on this podcast right now. Did any of you people who are on social media, a photo that went around that a lot of people were clowning on? It was a picture of Justin Bieber out in LA,
I love
eating
this.
a burrito,
Yes.
side like a corn on the cob,
Yes,
like he had unwrapped the entire thing.
And the tweet was like, I don't think Justin Bieber knows how burritos
Yes,
work.
yes.
Right.
It was so funny. Yeah.
But
The
also
story's
something.
great.
But here's the thing. Also something that like Justin Bieber lives in a life that none of us will ever understand. He's been famous since he's like 11. You know what I mean? And so plausibly,
And before that, he was Canadian with a stage mom.
Right.
So even
exactly.
before
So
he was
plausibly, he has never, and he's surrounded himself by yes men. I assume that are like so plausibly, like he the first time he went to eat a burrito, he ate it like this corn, and like his bodyguards and like Scooter Braun and all his people were like, hey, he's eating it like that. We should eat it like this. And he, because of who he is, his unique platform, has been eating them the whole way this time because no one wanted to tell him that that's not how you do it.
Right.
It's
You have to
plausible.
assume that
It's
And also,
plausible.
can I just interrupt you here, Tyler, and say Jesse asked me to bring a funny slice because yours was kind of serious about a burrito and Justin Bieber. So
An audible has been called.
I'm learning so much.
It was an audible. It was an audible.
I am just learning so much about what
An
Jesse
audible has
likes
been
here.
called halfway through because this is an important story. So we're familiar with the photo, right? We've all seen it. We've described it very well.
It got, ironically, a lot of likes on Twitter.
Got a lot of likes on
hearts.
Twitter. It was passed around a lot. And it was sort of that story, like you said, Jesse, of like, so it does seem like one of those things that maybe just this is how young, famous people eat burritos and they don't know how to be told otherwise. We don't know.
It's like it's like when George Costanza went to like a business meeting with like a lot of like, high end executives from, I think some of them were like from Europe or whatever, and they're eating candy bar with a fork and a knife.
Yeah.
He incorporates that into his daily life because for those people, that's normal. It's totally plausible that Justin Bieber eats his burrito in a terribly inefficient way.
That's right.
Plausible? Yes. True? No.
Wow.
It's not.
Snopes.
The entire thing was a scam. There was apparently
Was
a
this someone
YouTube
purposely
channel.
trying to look like Justin Bieber?
Purposeful
It was YouTube
scam.
pranksters.
This was a prank. They pranked the entire world. A YouTube channel called Yes Theory. They like to pull stunts like this. They brought in a Bieber impersonator, had him sit down at a park bench in LA and eat a burrito sideways, and social media did the rest. Whether they didn't have to stage anything
It's
beyond
incredible.
that.
Did you see the behind the scenes brainstorming of this? I mean, these guys, basically their whole goal was to reverse engineer like a viral video, right? And so they're like, well, what's something super viral? Justin Bieber. And then they wrote out like things that they were like cats, grandmas, all this thing. They had this big flow chart of all these things. And so they released a couple of the other videos of like Justin Bieber helping an old woman across, or the Bieber lookalike,
Right.
like helping the woman across.
Right.
She didn't do anything. But, for some reason they decided people doing normal things very strangely take off on the internet. So
Yeah.
what if we take one picture of him eating the burrito like that? Will it go super viral? And it was perfectly engineered to do what the intended purpose was. I mean,
It was brilliant.
the fact that they were able to pull it off and actually go viral is super, super impressive.
Well, the guy really looked like Justin Bieber, and
Yeah.
it's really stupid to eat a burrito like that. So
And you could kind
that
of
was
see
the
it
combo.
being a little bit like he was hunched over a little bit. And once you started thinking like, wait a minute, is that Justin Bieber? You realize, I guess I don't know. I guess that's kind of what he looks like. But because it was posted on Vanity Fair or
Right.
BuzzFeed,
Entertainment Tonight,
and you see
yeah.
Justin Bieber, ET, even
Oh my
the BBC
gosh, it was on
picked up
Entertainment
on it.
Tonight.
Yeah, it was on all these TV shows.
Or Justin Bieber. Everybody
Well, it's
thinks
that
he's an
little-
idiot burrito eater.
That little like slice of life, throwaway, heartwarming thing at the end of the newscast.
Yeah, it's like the
Nickelback.
Nickelback challenge spot a few years ago,
Yeah.
where all the it's like a goofy viral story. That
I don't think anybody calls it that, but you, Jesse. But okay,
that's what I officially TM Nickelback challenge TM. No, but like something that has like the hallmarks of like a viral story. But when I was looking at the picture initially, like when it was first going viral, a couple things stuck out that I questioned the plausibility of, like, why would he bring the burrito to a park bench? right? Like who
I did
just
wonder how he got that much privacy.
Yeah, and like no one followed him to the park bench, and like did an assistant go? Was he sitting on the park bench and he sent the assistant to go bring him the burrito? I mean, that's not totally implausible, but some things struck me as like just a little weird. Like who who doesn't eat a burrito at a table? It's a very inefficient food
Right.
with no platform in front of you. It just falling all over the ground.
What are you talking
all of a sudden
about?
You got pigeons
can
everywhere.
The whole point of a burrito is that you can sit on a bench and eat it with one hand. I mean, it's not a bowl.
That's never happened.
But you can't eat it like that.
Yeah,
That's
listen, if I'm making
Literally,
a burrito,
Chipotle-
it's exploding 3 bites in.
Chipotle has used to have instructions on how to unwrap their burrito
Yeah,
and eat it
they
down as
did.
you go. Like,
Cameron, do you know why? Because you and I hope you don't take this the wrong way.
Okay.
I think you're a sucker because they were trying to get people to make small burritos. Because the size of burrito I make, no instruction is going to keep from exploding in a few bites. I'm loaded. Hey, can you eat a little bit more beans? Just a hair more. Peppers. All 3 sauces, extra cheese. That's a ploy. That's a ploy for you to get small burritos.
Literally, as soon as you bite into your burrito, it explodes, Jesse.
Exactly. And then I have a taco salad at the end. No big deal.
No.
No big deal.
So I think that fortunately, Jesse and the rest of the crack editorial team at Relevant was not done in by this Justin Bieber photo. But I hope that all of us, like Jesse, do a little better job of making sure that the news we share is legit before we post it to our socials.
exactly. It's a simple URL, Snopes.com. That's a simple URL.
Man, if Snopes.com has to tell you whether Justin Bieber can eat a burrito correctly or not, what a poor life for Justin Bieber.
I've already said this. I've long said that Entertainment Tonight is the enemy of the people, and I will not stand for their fake news.
I literally the other day I got a press release from one of these Christian authors releasing a book about politics, and I'm like, oh. And I read it, I stay informed, and the person, the best-selling author, said in the press release, quote, they were quoting him saying, well, why is Obama still around? In 2016, he was floating the idea of a third term, and then he couldn't get 2/3 of the Senate to approve it. And so because he couldn't get his third term that he wanted, now he's trying to stay around Washington and ruin things from the inside, all that kind of stuff. And I thought to myself, that is the dumbest assertion I've ever heard, that Obama, a constitutional lawyer, tried to stay in power beyond 2 terms, right? Yeah. I literally went over to Snopes.com, typed it in, boom. In January 2016, a political satire website, which on the footer of their website says everything on this site is a joke, it's fake, do not believe it, had a headline that said Obama had a press conference and announced his intention to run for a 3rd term, right? It then got over the far right web and picked up by the National Review and a bunch of these other ones referencing it the next day, saying, well, he's floating the idea about blah, blah, blah. And it all stemmed from this completely fake thing, which is now in a Christian author's press release in 2018 as fact.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Come on, people.
And it would have been amazingly simple.
Sorry about that. I'll watch my quotes better next time when I say
Plus, everyone knows Obama is where all ex-presidents are, encapsulated in a fireplace in the White House, left with nothing but jazz instruments to call for help.
What a great tweet. I mean, what a great slice.
That'll do it for slices and your 12-finger people update.
Oh, let's start doing that.
A regular feature.
You're not going to believe this. I'm talking about the New York Jets guy again. Here's your 12-finger update. They have not grown back.
There's got to be more.
Not grown back yet. Not grown back.
All right, that'll do it for slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Sarah Reeves.
But now I got the answers. I pull them from the sky. It's not the same world. I'm not the same guy. Did you know there are pictures of you on my phone? It's true. Did you know there are reasons for these things I do?
You're listening to Rhett Miller. The song is I Used to Write in Notebooks. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Toro y Moi with Freelance, which is what the majority of our listeners do. Well, today's show is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. I saw a tweet just the other day. One of our listeners launched a photo portfolio.
I saw that too.
Using Squarespace. Creating a site with Squarespace is a simple, intuitive process. You can add and arrange your content and features with a click of a mouse. And even adding a custom domain to your site is simple. If you sign up for a year, you'll receive a custom domain for free. You can design a best-in-class online store using their award-winning templates, customizable settings, and more. And from nationally recognized brands to your favorite local shop, Squarespace is trusted by hundreds of thousands of savvy shop owners around the world. It includes all the tools you need to track inventory, process orders, and send custom emails in one intuitive interface. Squarespace Commerce allows you to understand every aspect of your business. And right now, Squarespace is offering Relevant Podcast listeners a special deal. You can go to squarespace.com/relevant for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your site, use the offer code RELEVANT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Squarespace, set your website apart. Well, on her latest album, Easy Never Needed You, singer Sarah Reeves reinvents her sound by combining catchy pop stylings to her worshipful songwriting. We recently spoke with Sarah about the album and some of its standout tracks.
It was cool. She's got her first single is a collaboration with Kirk Franklin, who seems to be he's got a pretty good ear for who to collaborate with these days, you know?
And she was super cool to talk to. I did the interview. You'll hear. I really admired how candid she was. I understand that the industry can be kind of a tough one, and a lot of times artists feel the need to smooth over some of the more difficult parts, but she was really open about it, and I appreciated it.
There you go. Well, here's our conversation with Sarah Reeves.
To rely on you. I thought I wanted it easy, but easy never needed you. Just because I'm feeling weak and feeling lonely doesn't make it true. 'Cause I know I'm only human, and I don't know what I'm doing. I thought I wanted it easy, but easy never needed you.
The story of the first time you got signed, those 3 years, that's like obviously everywhere, but here in Nashville especially, it's an extremely common story. Those people who get signed and for a few years it's really exciting and then it's not. Can you give me a little bit of a snapshot of what was it then? You said you felt like you needed to find yourself as an artist and as a person. What more specifically were some of the things that you struggled with as an artist during that first period of really giving it a shot?
Again, I was really young. You know, I was just out of high school, and I had never had any kind of real job outside of playing in a band. And I hadn't really gone through anything crazy either, so I didn't really have much of a story yet. And I think because of that, I was relying on my team and the people around me to kind of write my songs and build my brand when I didn't even know what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted to say. And I think it was almost just premature in a way. I'm not saying that I'm not grateful for that season. And I know that, you know, the album is still out. People can still listen to it under my name. And so it's there, but I just feel like a different person having lived life a little bit longer. You know, I'm 29 now and I still have a long ways to go, but I just kind of I was such a people pleaser. And I just remember my team, this was pre-Pinterest days, and they had this magazine and they're like, oh, we're going to give you red hair and we're going to make you look like this. And they just kind of formed me into this artist that they felt like they needed on their label. And so I just didn't know who I was. And that's what it boiled down to. And also I took it all for granted because it all happened really quickly, that because I didn't really have to work for it, I didn't appreciate it like I do now.
Yeah, there's just something about you. I'm better when I'm around you. Can't get enough of the way you light up every room. You got me singing and shouting. I can't stop talking about you. Wish I could explain the way that you do what you do. Yeah, there's just something about you.
what would you say now as a songwriter? What's the biggest difference, or what do you feel like is the biggest difference practically on a really tangible level between the songs that you're making now with your current label, with your current deal, as opposed to the songs you were writing the first time around when you were much younger?
I developed my sound. It probably took me a year. I met with a producer in Nashville. His name is Robert Marvin. And we kind of have a similar story. He was in music, and then he took a big sabbatical, big break, and then kind of entered back into it around the same time I entered back into it. So we just connected, and I knew of his work, and I had always wanted to work with him. And we just started hanging out and talking and making music, writing, and he was very instrumental in the sound that I have now, because he understood the anointing as a worship leader, but he also understands the excellence of music and the quality, and even just like that pop influence. Like he came from the pop world, and so he brought in that flavor as well, but he understood what I did as a worship leader. And so he's like, we have to protect this. We have to get a team around this that understands what you do, because there's not much out there like that. And so he kind of formed this team of producers and songwriters, and we really kept it small. And there was 2 weeks last year where we just went to Florida, and we had a beach house there, and we wrote half of my record there and just got inspired. And all of the people that were involved on my record, most of us go to church together, but most of them are involved in their own realm of like pop music, whether they're artists or whether they're producers or songwriters. They kind of have their thing in the mainstream world. And so I wanted that on my record. Like I wanted their influence on my stuff, rather than just writing with people in Nashville that everybody writes with to write a Christian record. So I made sure that like it was protected, but I also had people that understood my vision, but I wanted what they could bring to the table, if that makes sense. And so it's still got this like worship sense in it, and every song pretty much, except for the love song I wrote for my husband. They're all vertical lyrics. I wrote them all about God, to God, but it kind of just has I wanted it to stand against anything out there right now, whether it's Christian music or mainstream music, any genre. I wanted it to be able to live on a playlist where people wouldn't play a certain song and automatically know, oh, that's a Christian song.
That was Sarah Reeves. Make sure to check out her new album, Easy Never Needed You. You're listening to Quay. The song is Straight Lines. All right, it's my favorite time of the week. It is when you guys send us your life conundrums and ask Jesse for advice.
In a legally binding, unspoken agreement.
Jesse does not read these beforehand. I have them in front of me, and I lob them up to him, and he solves your problems for you. You guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast. Use hashtag AskJesse. And here's a few of the ones that caught our eye this week. Blake T. Vineyard asked Jesse.
I think it's Vineyard, but go ahead.
It's V-I-N yard. Vineyard. But without the E. There's no E. It's very strange. He's been married for 2 months now. Okay. What's the secret to keeping it strong?
That's a great question, and I would say
lob it over to Annie.
About every 2 months, radically changed identities. It's like she married a new man. This will involve.
Oh, what a nightmare.
This will involve, taking and burning all your old clothes and investing in a whole new look. Like one, maybe you're the nice Blake T vineyard she knew and loved. Next 2 months, you have an Australian accent and dress like a member of Mumford & Sons. Maybe you grow a handlebar mustache. Maybe 2 months later, you're wearing Steve Harvey style zoot suits and your only conversations are long form 2-hour conversations. The thing is, mix it up, marriages get stale. If you don't experiment with new personas and give 100% dedication to them, I don't know what's going to happen to your relationship.
Jesse, I believe that's called role playing.
Hey, to each his own. You're asking my advice, and I'm giving it to you. So, all
right,
you're married.
All right.
It's okay.
Barrett Grebbing asked, Jesse, I've got a 6-month-old baby boy.
Okay.
He's pretty chill. I want to make sure he gets into the same hijinks I enjoy.
Okay.
What are some of the first steps I can be taking as a father to ensure this?
First, what I want you to do. How old did you say this baby was?
6
already
months
laughing. Jesse's
old.
already laughing. Just
6
so
months
everybody
old.
knows.
6 months.
6 months.
6 months. If you haven't done this already, I need you to look at both hands and tell me how many fingers he has. If he has 12, leave them alone because he'll get into all kinds of cool hijinks on his own. The other thing I want you to do is when he comes of age, you can show him pictures of 2 people, maybe 2 people that you listen to on a podcast, one of whom snuck out all the time, got into numerous shenanigans night after night, and lived to tell about it. The other is named Annie F. Downs. And she read books and did her homework and dutifully went to bed at the crack of 8:30, at 8:15 every night, except for Fridays. We were allowed to watch most of TGIF and we're in bed by 9:20. Yeah. And you can say, you have 2 life paths, 2 doors. Which one do you choose? Let him decide. Yeah. And I think we know. No offense, Annie, I think we'll know which one he'll make. I'm not going to say.
You're terrible.
I'm not going to say, but that's my advice.
All right. Seth Lindeman wrote in and said, I'm thinking of starting a new hobby so I can meet people in my neighborhood. I'm married with 2 children. Any suggestions that will help me win friends?
Okay.
Hobby
suggestions. I want Tyler and Cameron to look at Annie's face and what is the expression? When she looked down to the side
lost me on this
and
one.
deeply exhaled. She looked to the side off mic and deeply exhaled. It was exhaustion and incredulousness. So,
I see a lot of trepidation.
Annie, because even the thought of me answering this question
I just am scared he's going to really do it. That's all.
Makes you roll your eyes. Makes you roll your eyes. I want you to answer, then I will answer, and I'll let the listeners
hobby
My
suggestion.
face hurts from laughing today.
Hobby suggestion, so he can meet people in his neighborhood.
Yeah,
I already have a perfect idea, but I'm interested in
for sure he does. Yeah, I'm going to give a rational idea where invite people over to watch a football game. Have
That's not a hobby.
Party.
That's not a hobby.
He wants a new hobby.
Hobby ideas where he can help him meet people in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh God, Jesse.
Annie, you're up, and the clock is ticking. There's a man's social life hangs in the balance of this advice.
I think his new hobby he should do is learning how to fix cars, and then he can offer to help people with their cars, or start the hobby of being a magician and go and do magic around. Surprise, up close, sleight of hand magic. Those are my 2 options.
I will say this, Annie, if you knew anything about stand-up magic, you would know that magicians are a lonely breed and they have no friends. They are lone wolves. They are lone wolves that prowl at night, and that's the path they have chosen. With great power comes great cost, and that cost is a life of solitude. If you knew a magician, you would know that they are dark, lonely people. You think David Blaine has friends? No one's hanging out with that guy.
That's different.
Do you think anyone wants to see him public most of the time that's true because he's hanging upside down in a tank of water in Times Square. Fair point. But you going to have dinner with Chris Angel in some creepy Gothic mansion? No, sir. They're a lonely breed. So now maybe. I will give
Okay, so what's the right
advice.
answer? I clearly gave the wrong answers to learn how to fix a car or be an up-close magician. What would you say?
Start staging crimes at night and later solve them because you were the one committing them all along. Staging crime is a hobby. Staging crime is a hobby. Okay?
All right. Jesse, can you? Because I'm weighing both of these. I'm looking for some new hobbies.
Yeah, thank
Could
you.
you give me some examples of a crime that how you would stage it?
Tyler, let me ask, how comfortable are you framing somebody, or would you like to do it victimlessly? Because if you're framing somebody, that's easy.
I have no attachment to any of my neighbors.
Okay.
If they ended up in prison tomorrow, it wouldn't affect my life
Okay, this
whatsoever.
is
So
easy.
that's fine.
Start off simple, break
That
into a
could
bunch of
happen in your
cars, steal a
neighborhood.
bunch of stuff, and then, you plant the evidence on a neighborhood kid. You're actually keeping all the good stuff, and you bring him to justice. You're the neighborhood hero. That one. The other one doesn't involve
Your hobby is a fake criminal hobby. That's what you're saying.
Hey, do you know what's pretty fun? Committing crimes at night under the cover of darkness in your own neighborhood and being the hero. It's a great hobby. The other one, if you want it victimless, here's what I suggest, Tyler. Arson. Set a neighbor's house on fire, and guess who
Cameron's
comes
thinking about
running?
that.
Guess who happened to be driving home from a late night errand, saw the fire, and put it out as neighborhood and reporters came, and you're putting out the fire that you started. You're the neighborhood hero. It's a great hobby, and it's a great way. I will say this: I've done the arson one. On the third try, I was able to put the fire out. I was a neighborhood hero. So
The first 2 tries, your neighbors ended up moving in with you because you burned their houses down. So you still got friendship
I
either way.
definitely had to get out of there. So
Beth Larder asks, I'm a school librarian and I'm always looking for creative ways to get kids to read more. Any advice?
Annie, you're up.
Jesse, I just started laughing at the hopes of what was going to happen.
Okay, no, I want to hear yours.
Jesse, we aren't on opposite teams, you and I.
I know we're not, but I am combating your expressions because
Okay.
your face is saying words that your mouth is
Beth
not, and I
wants-
believe your face.
Beth wants elementary kids to read more. Am I hearing you correctly?
She just
Cameron?
said school librarian. We don't know the age.
Okay, but she wants them to read more.
Right.
Fill that library with Annie F. Downs books. That's the first thing. There's a whole collection. Get them all.
Yeah.
in there.
But then you have a school full of brave kids. You can handle
Yeah.
1 or 2 brave kids because they're like
You
the
don't need
leaders
that
of the
many.
pack. You can't
Yeah.
have a school full of brave kids.
Yeah,
I think you hide money in the pages. That's what you do. You hide money in the pages.
No, because then you just pick up the book and
Listen,
shake it.
you
and
don't
then put
ever
it back.
push back on Jesse. Let me just throw some ideas out there and see what sticks, dude. Jesse, what's the right answer? Because mine was clearly the wrong answer.
This one is easy, and you are on the right choice.
Oh, I was?
You're
I'm
on
on
the
the
right
path?
It involves a monetary reward.
Oh, good.
And you claim, obviously you're not telling the truth, but they're children. Who cares? You can lie to them. You claim to have buried a substantial amount of candy and money somewhere in the school. And the answer to where it is hidden is hidden within the pages of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. They will be eating it up. And you know what? They learned 2 lessons that day. One is that, reading is good. 2, never trust an adult in authority.
Grown-ups lie.
Because
Yeah,
guess
there
what?
you
There's
go.
no treasure, sucker. You just read 900 pages of boring Tolkien. So enjoy the troll stories.
All right. Sarah Grace Bauer says, I have a friend who's getting ready to graduate college and is in the process of interviewing with the police department. What should he do to make sure the police department knows he's not only serious, but is passionate about pursuing this career path?
Oh, well, Annie, I will
I think
hear
any
yours.
of y'all can
and
answer
then-
this
and
one
then-
because y'all have had a lot of run-ins.
Yeah. Let's hear how you would impress law enforcement.
I think you get that hobby from the neighborhood guy that you suggested. You set up fake crimes and you solve them.
Yeah. Framing people always works. Here's the thing, police departments, they want to see that, you can handle yourself out there. And the best way to do that is to walk into the police station with nunchucks and a mask disguising your identity. Just start going wild, just doing a demonstration. You're swinging, and you go up to the police chief and you hold the nunchucks like Michelangelo, like real tight. And you say, your move, chief.
Like Michelangelo, like everyone's picturing the turtle now.
Exactly.
Right?
Swinging the nunchucks. And you go, your move, chief. You slightly remove the mask and you said, where do I sign? And then right then they got a nunchuck guy on the force. Every police force is going to need someone who thinks a little differently. Here's the other thing too. I would come up with a folder of all my crimes. All of them. And I would say, officer, this isn't a confession, but to think like one of these people, you have to be one of these people. And I was like, I know it's against everything you believe in, but I'm one of you now. And see what they say. And then do the nunchuck thing if that doesn't work.
All right. And lastly, Christian Timsland says, Jesse, I turned 39 last week. What's one thing I should do this year before I become a real adult?
Annie, you're up.
I have a lot of pushback on this question. What's one thing you should do? You should go see Mount Rushmore. You got to do that before you become an adult, because once you're an adult, it's not as cool.
I think that's the sort of thing you do when you're an adult.
Yeah, that feels like a grown up.
That sounds like a really scintillating trip in your mid-60s.
Again, with the pushback from both of you. Let me just say what I say.
Okay.
And don't fight me all the time.
Well, I don't think of youth and like flights of fancy in my younger days of going on a road trip to Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
It sounds like you're trapped in the family wagon and you're
There's
forced
a reason
on.
these aren't Ask Annie, because I'm not.
Annie, look at my face. Do I look incredulous or do I look very gracious and like,
You
I've
look
never
so
been.
gracious, Jesse.
I'm not that age yet, but maybe before then I will.
Yeah, you do look very gracious. What would the right answer be, Jesse? Jumping off Mount Rushmore?
Let me give you two. One of these I received recently, which is get your wisdom teeth out, because I have been putting that off for years. Then it said I might need to get braces again because I've been putting off this wisdom teeth so long. So real talk, get those bad boys out. They're supposed to come out.
Are you doing it soon?
No. Why, you think I believe them? You think give me? There's a reason. Hey, when I was in my 20s, I said, when do I get these wisdom teeth out? They were like, well, they should have come out a long time ago, but definitely before you're 30. I haven't looked back since until this pretentious dentist with a degree in dentistry tells me I need to get them out immediately, or all my bottom teeth could crack and I'll need braces. I ain't doing it. I didn't fall for that scam. I didn't fall for when I'm 25. I'm not falling for when I'm 35. But real talk, this guy, it's probably a good idea to get them out if you're 39. The other thing too is, don't worry about fact checking this. I can't remember what the cutoff is for committing a felony and only having to go to like junior jail. I think
it's 17, buddy.
Junior jail.
It's called juvie.
Oh, I know. Talking to guys in the inside walls of a juvie.
Wait, really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was going to be like, how have you not told us that?
Hey, wink. I would just, figure out the cool crime you've always wanted to commit. Even if it's victimless,
Hopefully it's victimless.
Yeah, I would say even if it's victimless.
I'm just saying, like, if you rob a bank, it's federally insured money, so it's your tax money going back to that. I'm just saying you can justify a lot of crimes, but don't actually go through with it. But go at least to the ventilation shaft, drop into the vault, take a look around, knowing that the worst that's going to happen to me is they're going to call my parents, and then
He's
then you can turn
39,
40.
not 17. He's not 17. He's 39.
He's the one who this guy's the one who led with he's going to be an adult when he turns
Cameron,
40.
I think you're wrong about this. He could look it up, or he could just kind of go with his gut on it. I think just go with your gut.
I think you're wrong.
Just get to the vault, take a peek around, and think, I had a good run in childhood. Now on to adult things and to the dentist because my bottom tooth has cracked.
I'm gonna throw a bonus one in here because I want to see how you would give advice for this person that's different than your first advice. The relationship advice you gave was about adopting interesting personas every few months. Okay, John Lavapie or Lava Pie. Oh, it's Lava Pie.
It's got to be Lava Pie.
It's
That's
definitely
awesome.
Lava Pie. Yeah, John Lavapie said it's always been hard for me meeting new people. How can I feel more confident showing a good first impression and not run out of things to say?
Oh, wow. I mean, you could, so hold on. His concern is really twofold because not only does he need the icebreaker, which that's, I could see like a hype man or something. What's this guy's name? John
Lavapie. Lavapie.
I mean,
he's got a lot to work with.
Well, but that's the thing. But he's not concerned about the icebreaker. It's running out of good things to say.
Yeah, that's so. Here's the guy's issue. Like if it's just the first thing, like I said, like a hype man, like an '80s hype man could do this. Like a room, Lava Pie's coming, bah, 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 the whole place is hype, and Lava Pie walks in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the party starts once Lava Pie gets there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But the problem is he's, about 10 minutes, he's going to run out of things to say. The hype man's going to be like, Lava Pie's got to go. And they just bounce out with the music that they brought. Right. Everyone's just standing there silently.
So you're saying leave on a high note. Who cares about developing
Always
friendships?
Leave them wanting more.
Yeah. My recommendation, weird paranormal Wikipedia rabbit holes, a deep dive, because if it's anything, people don't want to talk politics. They're burned out.
We can agree on this.
people don't want to talk, look, cursory knowledge of sports is helpful, but
Sure.
Did you hear about Lava Pie over there? He knows about a secret government conspiracy to make a ghost machine. What? I got to talk to Lava Pie. That's insane. Lava Pie heard about a treasure they buried at the elementary school that if you read Lord of the Rings, you find out the route to. What? Lava Pie? He's super interesting and weird and kind of cool. Let's keep him around. He brought the hype man.
I'm in complete agreement, Jesse. I think that's exactly right. That's why we do slices. We hand you things. The slices are literally Lava Pie's arsenal to go into parties
exactly.
like that. That is
Lava
why
Pie.
we're here.
Listen to this podcast. We gave you tons of interesting, find out the history of 12-fingered people and just go deep dive because listen, I have more questions than Annie has answers for this topic. It's not anything against her. Just not a lot of people are well versed in 12-fingered people. Just do a deep dive and you're going to be a popular cat, Lava Pie.
I often think back on that slice I think you brought a couple of months ago, Jesse, where the whole Wild West town was for sale.
Exactly.
I think about that all the time.
Just get comfortable getting weird on the internet, Lava Pie. It's never steered me wrong, except for the time, I ended up on that Russian site and got paid a visit by some friendly law enforcement. But thankfully, I was under the age of 40 and they couldn't touch me. So
I will say that Jesse and I are each other's internet accountability partners, and I get a lot of alerts around 3 a.m. And it's not from bad stuff. It's just stuff that the filter has never heard of before. And
it's definitely dark web. It's definitely dark web material.
Yeah.
That's terrifying to get everything that Jesse thinks up to Google. I'm not interested. I love you, Jesse, but not interested. That is too much.
Well, that's why I have a lot of answers to people that need help because I've done the homework.
That's true. That's why you help Lava Pie.
I have done the homework. Yeah.
I want to meet Lava Pie. I want to hang out with Lava Pie. I just want a friend whose name is Lava Pie.
Here's the thing. We haven't done Listener of the Week for a while. Mark, let's set up Lava Pie. See what his most interesting fact is.
Cut his jib. I like it. There's that road. There's that road in Georgia. We go to Catalyst Conference every year, and you get off the highway at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Yeah, Sugarloaf Parkway, for sure.
I want a friend named Sugarloaf. I kind of want to be called Sugarloaf. Yeah. I just think it'd be fun to hang with Sugarloaf. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, we're not going to call you Sugarloaf.
Everyone needs in the crew, in the squad, the one funny nickname guy.
Yeah, Lava Pie. Yeah, Lava Pie. I'm hanging. Hey, we're going to the movies tonight. Hey, somebody called Lava Pie. I'm down.
Well, even if you have it's the Boz. The Boz is here, man.
Right.
Where's Boz been? I don't got with a guy in college that I knew was Poot. Right? Poot's here. Poot's got to come along. One time some guy came to the room and asked for a name. I'm like, I've never heard of that guy. And Poot came out of his room. He's like, I'm right here. You could have told him. I was like, I've only known you as Poot. And frankly, I don't like your real name. It's Poot, man. Poot's here. The Boz is here. Lava Pie's here. Be the guy in the gang that's like always down for a little something, Yeah. And he's not the main character. He's not the protagonist, but he's always tagging along,
Yeah.
You don't even have to, if you have the name, I feel like you're more than halfway there. Like no one's leaving Lava Pie behind. No one's going to be like, hey, should we call Lava Pie? I don't know. That guy's kind of a drag. I don't want to bring Lava Pie. That's not going to happen.
No. They're like, yeah, for sure, Lava Pie.
It's McLovin. I mean, literally, every crew's got to have a McLovin,
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
exactly.
So do we get to meet Lava Pie next week? Is that what we're saying?
I don't think there's any reason we shouldn't.
We are leaving about 35 other questions unanswered.
Yeah. There's a lot. You guys have a lot of conundrums. But, if you want yours to be answered by Jesse, hit us up at Relevant Podcast. Use hashtag AskJesse, and he will help solve all of your life conundrums. Well, thank you to Sarah Reeves for joining us today. Make sure to check out her new album, Easy Never Needed You. It's awesome. Hey, many thanks to this episode's sponsors for making the show possible. Remember, go to squarespace.com/relevant for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your site, use the offer code RELEVANT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Hey, and if you're a podcast fan and want some gear, head over to our store. It is up now. It's store.relevantmagazine.com. You can find a link right there at the top of relevantmagazine.com as well. There's a lot of gear, and we're adding more all the time, so keep checking back. Remember, the Love and Money Podcast Season 2 is out now. Go check it out. And the new issue of Relevant is also out now. A lot of announcements today. Lauren Daigle's on the cover. You don't want to miss it. You can view the issue at relevantmagazine.com. You can also pick it up at newsstands nationwide. And subscribe today. We have a special deal going on. You won't be disappointed, we hope. Okay, on that note, we'll wrap it. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Mark Jackson.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
And I'm Annie F. Downs.
We will see you guys on Friday. Go vote.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Down for whatever, I think I let go. No more shoes or socks, I only rock sandals. I can tell if I'm hip or getting old. I can hear you, maybe you could change your tone.
You know what's funny? Is I heard this room was built on the cemetery of an old jazz band.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.